Well, we're going to have to wait for everybody to show up. We'll give it a few minutes here. We'll run our little 30-second countdown, and then McMurray's frozen already. Well, I wish I would have been smarter and pre-notified this earlier, but I didn't think about that.
Sorry, I got all excited because I realized I was in a room that didn't have a fan, so I could actually do the joking frozen thing. I always mess it up, and the fan's behind me, and I look like an idiot.
Well, when you slide your head that way to your right a little bit, the light bulb reflecting off your mirror comes shooting into
the halo. I just got to keep it kind of hidden sometimes.
All right, 2 viewers out there on Facebook already. Say hey so we know who's here.
Is that Aachen, Todd?
No, this is Elst. It's that time of year. It's that time of year, you know.
Is that ASL Elst?
It is
Decision at Elst?
ASL Starter Kit Elst, yes.
He's going to play it or else. While I have to pass on playing these things. Cal, what's up, buddy? So we're going to unbox here in just a moment into the Whirlpool.
Well, I'm excited.
Has anybody done an unboxing on this other than Herman's people?
I'm about to say I saw Herman did one.
Yeah. I felt like there was one more, but I don't remember who it was.
I think there was. I feel like I saw one right when it came out, and that's what got me to go, oh, shit, that's out. Let's do this. But I don't know. And my apologies to that channel if they're mad because I don't know who they were.
Yep. Well, I've been over there just playing the Dickens out of the fucking Napoleon one. So,
well, yeah, I got to watch that new video you put up. It's exciting.
Well, not yet. It's about to. I figure about another 2 turns, maybe 3. Chucky, how you doing, buddy? And then we should get into some combat. We've had first shots fired already, so some cannons fired long range at some cavalry, and then the cavalry still, due to the what do they call it? The artificial enemy opponent, the bot, because of their instructions, they had to close somewhat on it, and they're going to end up by themselves over there having to attack, and that's going to be really, really wild.
So I just did a quick search. It looks like it was just Blue Panther that did one.
Yeah, I think that's the one I've seen. So we're going to do an unboxing, and hopefully Andrew Son here has read enough of the rules and messed with it a little bit to give us a little brief on it. So awesome. We got 4 or 5 on here watching right now. Chuck, how you doing, buddy? Anybody else on there say hello so we know who's here? And we can talk about you. Slavi. we got to get together, Slav. I know you're not that far away from me, so all right, I'm gonna flip the camera here, and we're gonna start opening yon box. Let me see here. All right, first off, when I turn this camera on, you guys tell me if this image is upside down or is it correct for you guys. Here we go.
Viewers, because for us it might be different. It looks great to us, but it might be different for the viewers.
It's perfect. I wouldn't change a thing ever.
John. So tell me, is it right side up for you guys, the viewers, or do I need to flip it?
It's correct. I'm on YouTube. Looks good.
Okay.
Perfect.
Interesting. All right, so here it is. Tattered Flags, number 1. This
Been big in yourself, Jeff. Make your screen big, buddy.
I'm sorry. Good point. Good point, buddy.
That's what the people are here to see, baby, not Toddy and I.
Hopefully, this thing will turn into, I mean, this is almost unlimited the number of volumes they could do for this because it's so small scale. I mean, you could do probably 12 or 13 different boxes just for Gettysburg if you wanted to, and I wouldn't doubt it. You don't
easily.
Yeah. So now, like I say, Andrew's already had it. I have opened the box to look at it, and it's, I mean, somewhat looks the same as the original, but with some changes that make it different. And Andrew will talk about that once we do it. So let's take a peek at this thing. Yeah, naturally, that's wrong. I'm just a couple things off the back. I'm not going to read a whole lot about the whole thing about this, but it's the wheat field, and from what I'm understanding, he's added more of the second core into this fight. And well, like I said, later we'll get into that with Andrew. He can discuss all that stuff. So Herman's the designer, the system designer. Ryan Hallman, he did development and graphics on this. Fred Manzo, I didn't realize Fred was part of this. He did development, and Alex Zetterain is the artwork and graphics. And this one's coming from Blue Panther, and I haven't looked close yet. But my first experience, well, maybe it wasn't Blue Panther, maybe it was somebody else, where the counters were kind of clunky, but when you clipped them. But we'll get into that in a minute.
These are not clipping counters.
Okay, all right, good. So they look from just the picture on the back, it looks cleaner. I can see the center of what would normally be hexagons instead of the ranged movement that you used in the original game, but 17 by 22 map, 2-player aids, 1 game turn track, 208 markers, 40 battle cards, 176 combat units. Oh, misprint. 4 10-sided dice, a rule book, scenario book, 5 setup maps. I guess those are, I didn't look, those are ones I imagined that you would use to set up for your scenarios. 2 players, which we know you can play at 1. Play time is 120 to 180 minutes, ages 14 and up, not for small children. They don't do a solo ranking on here. So, all right. First thing first. All right. I love the image. Okay. But the boxing of this threw me off. The way it doesn't cover.
Yeah, it's definitely a Blue Panther box.
Yeah, it's a sticker. And I thought at first when I saw it, I thought this was going to be a slide. So it's not. Richard, how you doing, buddy? Let's take the box top off of this thing. It is. I like the painting on the front with the Irish Brigades stuff here. Todd, thank you.
Wait, did I just?
You did.
Oh, so sorry. I did not mean to do that.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Well, I was just trying to give people context where the battle is, but that'd be later.
Yeah, and Jeff's over here giving Toddy all the YouTube access.
Here is our dice. You get 2 of each, 10-siders. All right. I love 10-siders. These are my favorite. 10-siders and 8s are my favorites.
Yeah, I like 10-sider.
All right. We've got our cards, which I have no idea what these do yet. This is like this must be something he took on his other systems to stick in here. So I'll look through those later. I'm not going to mess up with that now. Get right to the counters. Okay. First things first. All right. Something I do like is they feel like they're textured. All right. And I don't know, I haven't tried yet, but let's try one. Okay, and they do punch out and
they quarter punch.
Side nibs. No side nib. I can still smell it though. I can smell that this is a Blue Panther game.
Yeah, so, the units like that don't have side nibs. Those are corner punch. The square ones still have side nibs.
Okay, square ones. Okay, so I'll have to use my razor cutter with those. All right. I do like the butternut color. I wish maybe it was more like the lighter color. So that I don't know. That text on these, that text doesn't look too bad on these.
Yeah, I think my copy is a little screwy because everybody's that I've seen that I was able to zoom in on, like the counter sheets and stuff on VGG.
Right.
Like on mine, it looks like the green got shifted up or down or something.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see what the back looks like.
Hey,
go ahead, Todd.
Can you brighten your lighting at all, Jeff? Or is it my screen? Or is it my screen?
I don't think we want to do that.
Yeah.
No. Turn it over. Flip it over so it points at the ceiling.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
That's much better.
All right. So I just realized that the front, the tan or the butternut here on the front is lighter than the color on the back. Could be good, showing the reduced side. But let's see if the disrupt markers, yeah, they're the same way. They look to me like they're darker on the back. That's not a big deal. It just shows you. I guess that's one way of determining whether you're on the front side or the back side. Okay. All right. So that is a bunch of McClaw's boys there. Maybe some of Hood's. I see South Carolinians. I see Georgians. Phillips Legion. Yeah, a bunch of Georgians and South Carolinians. All right. So anyhow, that's like a what? half, maybe third of a counter sheet. Play record track. Pretty simple. Stick that into your plexiglass. I actually kind of like this simple terrain chart picture, and the time track just slide it up underneath your plexiglass. Maybe even hovering over a corner of the map or something like that. All right. Counter sheet number 2. Look at all that blue. Look at all them Yankee boys. Oh yeah, they definitely added, because I'm recognizing some different battery names in here that weren't in the original game. I don't know. Is that blue or more like a purple?
It's a blue.
All right. And it's darker on the backside. And you're saying yours were not quite like this?
So on mine, especially on all of the white print,
Right.
whether it's the unit names or the counter tracks, like the counter accountability numbers, or the unit strength in the corners in the white circle.
Right.
There's like an awkward green that is shifted up. Like, you know how when printers print, they might print like, a yellow, a red, and a blue.
Right.
In the layers. It's like the green on mine. The sheet got knocked.
Yeah, that sounds like it, because I'm not seeing that here.
Yeah, again, and I think it's just an issue with mine, which
right.
Whatever. It's obvious. It's obviously not designed to be that way. Is my point.
Well, I'm seeing the clover leaves. I'm seeing the cross of I guess that's the 5th core. I'm assuming that the diamond is the diamond 3rd core. Is it Dan Sickles?
Yeah. Yeah, it's Sickles.
All right. And then of course, the Confederate ones. No, that doesn't make sense. That's more.
It's all the same core. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So it's the smell though. It's hard. I have a hard time getting by that.
It's like it's almost like it's MDF, but not quite.
I just got some leaders. This is, I think they had leaders, but this is much different here, I believe. Well, it's got the stars on them. And Herman said that this game would be different. I'm sure the play of this thing is going to be awesome. And Bill, to answer your question, I think Andrew's already messing around. McMurray's already messing around with it. I will definitely be playing it, so you will get some video playthrough on this. Live, I don't see us doing that. Doing this live. Well, and I don't want to say that that's not possible, but I haven't been through the rules yet. I don't know how much difference in play this is going to be.
Yeah.
Not using measured movement though would definitely make it easier to play 2 people to play it live.
That's for sure.
Shattered. So they got rid of, weren't the formation counters in the other game? You had, they were what, fatigue or something, 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that.
Yeah, there's just disrupt now.
Yeah. So now they've added disrupt, shattered. You've got defend. Okay, yeah, I know what that's for. Assault, indecisive. That's new. Limbered artillery markers instead of just flipping the count. Well, no, I think they did have that too. Out of command, hit mark. How about we turn it right side up?
There we go.
Go on the ground. Momentum, dominant. I'm curious to see what these little event cards or whatever they are over here, what effect they have. So, all right, so there you go. Just really 2 1/3 counter sheets. We'll save these puppies for later. Oops. Let's get in here and let's take a look at some rule books here. Is it me or is it everybody lately is doing rule books and companion books or scenario books separate?
Oh, I appreciate it.
Nowadays, so you got it, Camp. Oh, okay. I'm going to go ahead and make this statement. Camp, Wardrobe is sending me a game. It's a game that you played that I probably said that is not up my alley. Can you guess what it is?
Speaking of that.
All right, so into the Tatterflags #1 into the Whirlpool rulebook. That's interesting. It's not probably not Creation. Right? So you picture the monument with the dog. This is the Irish Brigade, or 63rd, 69th New York, or whatever. Seen that thing many a times. It looks like there are 36 pages in here. Oh, these are called battle cards. Herman's rule books always read well. Now, and these are, I'm not going to go through this whole book, but these are single column, full page, better than normal text. So this will be easy reading for this with the diagrams and everything. The movement thing is going to be that's going to be different for me because you're not using the ruler anymore. But it looks like he's got a bunch of stuff highlighted. I have to figure out what the blue, the gold, and or the tan, and the white, and the green, what they apply to. Charts, I'm sure, are going to be different in this game here. So, like I said, he told me it would be different. So, but it's not a completely flat paper. It's like a low semi-gloss, like a satin kind of. So that's good. But I don't want to do no highlighting. See if I can get the rules online. And then the credits on the back. The editor of this thing was Dave Shaw. Play testing was Philip Marr, Sean Torno, and Colin Patrick Farrell. 36 pages. All right. Oops. I just rattled. Still good? Okay. All right. Here we go. Let's see. No, MBT. Into the Whirlpool scenario book. So it looks like there are 6 scenarios. First contact, the Downeaster's Wall, Wheat and Stone, the Whirlpool of Death, the Bloody Wheat Field, and Reaping the Wheat. So, yeah, definitely added some. Well, of course, you can play the whole shebang in this, but the wheat field fight went back and forth at different times during this little 2-hour, 3-hour period in the afternoon and evening. So, pretty clean. Again, mostly single column stuff. Easy to read. I'll have to look at the map. Okay, so I'm assuming the map is not, obviously it doesn't have hex numbers. It's got letters and numbers at the top and bottom for deployment.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's like the old Avalon Hill stuff where you've got numbers across the x-axis and letters across the y.
Right.
But it's labeled on all 4 sides of the map, so it's not bad.
All right, cool. And Reaping the Wheat. So there are, in that book there, again, same type of stuff, Saturn. 15 pages. Okay, that's easy to deal with. Take a look at is this a chart or is this a map? Oh, these are the, we'll save that. We'll come back to that. All right, I've got some charts here. So on the chart, looks like you got 2 player aids. Simple enough, right?
Yep.
Line of sight, fire combat hit types, close combat sequence, unit morale test tables. You recognize that? Red, orange, yellow, green, dark green. He's keeping some similarity to his other systems, I would say.
You got shooting up top there.
Yep, fire combat tables, bayonet combat hit types, bayonet combat, close combat sequence. Going back here. Sequence of play. I like that. I always like a separate sequence of play out of the rule book.
Yes.
Initiative results, brigade order, unit actions. So we've got assault, engage, defend, maneuver, regroup. And then indecisive. Indecisive is definitely a new one. Change orders, command range, movement, number of unit actions, reorganize unit actions, formation morale test tables. All right. So you get 1 for each player. All right. All right. Fair enough. That's good. All right. Let's take a look at these deployment cards. So I'm assuming, whoops, crush them, Jeff. I'm assuming these are for all the different scenarios.
Yep.
All right. Looks like a couple of them are back printed. So. Oh, wow. Even made it even easier. They even put the units on the map for you. You can't beat that. So that's scenario 1.
They even put which unit was in the front and which unit. Yeah, it's pretty nice.
So they're stacking now in this game. Okay. Scenario 1. Scenario 2. Damn, these are bigger than the map almost. No, not quite. Scenario 2, the Downeaster's Wall. There's the Stony Hill. Peach orchards up yonder, Rose's wheat field, and then of course the Union line come around like this down the Houts Ridge or whatever. All right, Wheat and Stone. Yeah, so it looks like the Confederates have already driven up to the triangular field, coming up on Houts Ridge. All right, so we haven't quite get into the wheat field fight yet. And then on here, and then you put the turn record track and where it starts and everything on the bottom of these things.
Yep.
All right, now here's where they've driven up, where the fighting in the wheat fields are fixing to get hot. They've taken the Stony Hill. This has to be 2nd Corps troops arriving. No, that's 5th Corps and 2nd Corps. Okay, all right. Scenario 5. All right. Wow. Where'd all the Rebs go? When did this thing start? Where did they go? This is at 4:15 in the afternoon.
It might be a different arrival schedule. What if that's scenario 5? You said.
Yeah, because this is all Hood over here. There's no McClaws on this.
Yeah,
So maybe it must be McClaws arriving.
I can imagine they have some what ifs or something.
Right.
Scenario 5 is the bloody wheat field. Oh no, that's the grand battle, the whole thing.
Oh, the whole shebang. Okay, all right, good. That explains that then. All right, awesome. All right, so that's all that. So now let's get that out of the way, and let's pop the map out onto the table. Put this stuff out here. How many of you guys in the chat ordered this thing and have gotten it already? I know Andrew has.
Hey Jeff, you said you didn't know if you could play it live. It seems like this would be a decent live play game. I mean, I don't know the rules, I guess, but
I mean, I imagine you could.
just like any other game, right? I don't mean like necessarily 1v1, just even solo.
Oh, yeah. Well, that definitely, yeah. Okay, so canvas map.
Oh, really?
Yep, completely.
Yeah, that's always cool.
No paper map at all. You probably scan this though and make one if you wanted to. And
I think I don't know if I missed that, if it wasn't an option right away or what, or somehow, if I just entirely missed it. I have a paper map.
Oh,
really?
Yeah, I think, unless I'm fucking going insane. Yeah, I have a paper map.
Jeff.
Well, okay. Granted, they took away the ruler movement in the game, and you're using these fortresses. That's what they look like to me, the fortress markers.
8-pointed stars.
Yeah. And so that takes that away. But I don't this is a board game now, not a miniatures game. Okay, but it plays I still gotta figure, other than the point-to-point type movement, it's still gotta play like miniatures. I mean, Andrew, you can take those counters off and you can put minis down, couldn't you?
I mean, you can do that with pretty much any hex encounter game, except for ones that have stacking, which this one does, so it'd be hard to. But yeah, you can do that with pretty much any hex encounter game when it comes right down to it. Like Todd and I were talking about dropping in miniatures into the Stormover series and how easy that would be also.
Right.
The big issue comes when you have stacking, but yeah.
So your fight would have begun with Hood here, Hood moving across in here, and then McClaws would be doing the follow-up, which never got started off at the time that they wanted to. Got the elevation markers, but they're only in increments of 1, so they're not distance. You got Rose Farm over here, the Weicker House. Yeah, and you got the Orchard, the Stony Hill, Newfield. This little area here, if you've been to Gettysburg, when you drive down through the roads, this is where you come around the bottom and then you turn up into the Stony Hill. And actually, you may not notice it driving, but it's actually a pretty decent incline going up that thing. So, the map is nice, a little fuzzy on the forest here, but that's fine. You can tell where everything is. The hexes are centered. To see the hexes. The little 8 points there look like they're centered, so you can tell what terrain you're in.
You can. It is real nice about that.
All right, so I'm going to leave this here, and I'm going to flip back over. Let's go back into the regular mode. Take a look at Codley's map there. Let's see.
All right, so.
All right.
So this is the bigger view. This is the zoomed out. And I am not going to do any talking to this. I mean, except for I will point out. So this is the Battlefield Trust. Be sure to support that organization. It's very cool. But so there's Gettysburg, obviously. And then if I'm correct here, this here is the peach orchard and the wheat field right down here. Is that right? Because it doesn't say the wheat field anywhere here. It just says the peach orchard. I thought that was close.
Yeah, the peach orchard would be down the road going according to the way that map, to the southeast.
Okay, and then there is a map where it's now, I think the wheat field's on here. Does this sit here?
That's peach orchard area there. Wheat field's down there where Kelly, Crook, Caldwell, and all them are fighting.
Oh, where it says wheat field?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Well, anyway, I just thought it would be interesting to see kind of the just for people who, like me, who don't know the battle very well. So where it kind of takes place in this scheme. So Gettysburg's up here off this map. And again, showing that you got the wheat field, and then you could do the peach orchard.
Yeah.
And these
That's
maps.
what I see about this is you could do all kinds of this one really is pretty limitless on what you could do.
All right, so
This
then
system.
all right here. I mean, look at all this stuff going on.
Stuart says he got paper and canvas maps.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's probably an option.
Smell that map too. So, all right, Andrew. So give us a rundown of what you have discovered from the rules.
Thus far.
Oh.
Well, here we go. I knew it was coming.
So I intentionally didn't get into, all right, that is too small. It doesn't fit. I intentionally didn't get too much into the other game, knowing that I would just mix myself up, right? So that was one thing. I feel bad because I can't speak too terribly much to changes or anything like that. But what I found, has anybody ever heard? There's an Italian singer from like the 70s. But the style of singing is sounds that are English like but aren't English.
Oh, what the heck? Okay.
Yeah, so like Lorem Ipsum or whatever, the text for websites. It's like that, except for spoken and sang. So it sounds like English, and then you try and pay attention to it and listen to what he's saying, and it's not English.
Oh. Okay.
And it really messes with your brain.
So
they're miniatures rules, but they're not miniatures rules. And they're hex and counter rules, but they're not. And it's messing with my brain, and there's not a whole lot going on up there anyways, so it's rough. That being said, I'm having a fun time playing it. I think I'm missing a lot, unfortunately. Like, I can't figure out if I'm supposed to take morale for shooting casualties. Stuff like I don't know. I don't know if it's just an issue with how I'm reading it. I'm having a really good time playing it, though. Like, I don't necessarily think I'm playing it right, but I'm having a good time doing it. It certainly has a similar feel as you're reading to like Blind Swords, in terms of there's still a lot of the roll 2 dice, then you have this spectrum of results, see what happens, where that is. Except for, again, everything is just tweaked a little bit. That one's actually kind of tweaked a lot. It's mainly just the roll 2 dice mechanic. But yeah, it's certainly not a traditional, hex and counter game. Your movement rates, like, you don't pay 2 to walk through the woods, right? Or you don't pay 2 necessarily to climb over a fence.
Right.
Which messes with my brain, right? You accumulate disruptions, which makes sense.
Right.
It's just there, like I said, it's not quite a miniatures game. It's not quite a hex and counter game, because most hex and counter games, you go to move into woods and I'm going to move slower. You don't. It's fine. It's just a little different. I think I'm 3 or 4 turns into this. The first scenario is, what's it called? First Contact. Said it was the kind of training scenario. It's 4 turns.
Well, how do the commanders function in this thing? I mean,
it's one of the things I haven't really got a great hold on, to be honest with you.
Right.
Herman's video is incredibly helpful. His 20-minute little, here's how we kind of generally play. He's smart and doesn't make a video that you can essentially just bootleg the game and play it off the video, which is smart. I can't blame him. It's a helpful video, but it doesn't cover everything. So I'm still kind of working through exactly what everything does, right? I'm trying to figure out, I don't know. I know we've discussed this before. I always have a rough time branching into something completely new, right? Like I can't say, hey, Jeff, how the hell do I play this? Or anything like that. It's working out. It just takes a minute. That's all. And I think that might be something that people run into, as it's something that is a departure from both of those kind of traditional styles. That being said, it's beyond worth doing. Get it?
Right.
It might take a little bit longer for you to get a hold of than picking up the next Blind Swords game or, Shattered Union or Black Swan.
Well, I know the first one, even using the measurement, was okay. Because I'm gonna address what Stuart says here. So I like that you're penalized for not keeping units from the same commands touching each other, forces you to maneuver more realistically. Accurate. So in the first game, even though, like I say, you were using a ruler to move, the regiments had to stay in contact with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember specifically that if something broke, because the whole thing would break. You didn't. When I remember the first time I played my first Scenario original game, I kept putting the disruption level markers on individual regiment stands instead of it. The whole regiment was affected by the one marker. I had that all screwed up. Same thing when I was playing GBACW for the first time. I kept putting fatigue markers on individual regiments. I was like, this is stupid, man. I got all these markers all over all these regiments, and it was only supposed to be you put it on the brigade commander. So kind of similar to this game here. But I agree, Stuart. Yeah, if you don't keep your command together, and I mean, I don't know what other errors like that. The only two that I could say would be, well, I would imagine anything before, World War One, maybe even earlier than that. But I mean, Civil War, Napoleonics, you've got to keep your formations in contact just for the leadership value.
I was going to say, because your general can only yell so loud, right?
Yeah.
His runners can only get there so fast. So yeah, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
I do like how you're very, very encouraged to manipulate your lines. I know as again a hex encounter or as a miniatures gamer moving into hex encounter, it was always confusing. Like, well, yeah, but this guy's like my line. I don't have a line. I've got a, and it bugged me. It's not the case here. It reminds me of playing SPI's Great Medieval Battles 4-pack. 4-pack has this size and style of counter, and it reminds me of that.
What game?
SPI's Great Medieval Battles.
Oh, okay.
The 4-pack. There's a fifth one also, but it comes. I have the 4-pack.
I need to find out.
Harder. What's up?
I'm going to query Herman about this to see what other. I know we've talked about it to see. I don't know if he's putting this out there. The remake of this to see before they decide on what else they could do. To see how much it takes. Look, all of you guys that ordered this, that got it. I know a lot of you guys. You get a lot of games on the table, or you got something. Try to get this thing up and played as soon as you possibly can, because I got a feeling maybe that's what they're looking for, to see what this thing, if it's going to sort of catch with the community. And I'm telling you, I haven't even gotten to the rules to this yet, but that first one with using the ruler to movement like a miniatures game, which that's odd for me. I enjoyed the hell out of that. So I really want to see how this game goes and see how many people like it, because I got a feeling that even with the change, I'm still going to love the play of this game. And I like to, I like for the rest of y'all to get into it too, because if it's a good system, man, the sooner we all get it played and they start, realizing how good it is, or if it's not that good, then maybe we'll start getting some other scenarios. Because I'm telling you, think about it. What other system for the Civil War can you? My God, you could. This is like Todd playing squad leader there. I mean, endless scenarios for World War II.
Yeah, you break the regiments down into different, bases. Like there's multiple counters inside of a regiment. Hang on, I think it's listed what each one is supposed to represent, but I'm not entirely sure.
Well, there's 30 scenarios right outside
Yes.
my door you can use this system on.
Each unit, so each base, each stand is roughly 110 men. So there you go. You can do whatever you're looking to do, you could probably do.
Nord, you save those painting questions for that other channel. This is not a painting channel.
Oh boy, look out.
Unless it applies to the game he's playing right now where we can put miniatures on it and play it. Go ahead, answer his question. Get it out of your system.
That's a ridiculously, goddamn, Nord, that's a good question. I don't know, man. Nord, are you putting them out in like a museum, or are you like laying them out in great big grand armies? Because that's what's going to matter. Why don't you give me a couple days to think about that and holler at me on Wednesday? Because that's gonna mess with my brain all weekend, Nord. Thank you.
I would, yeah, and for me, I think if I was going to paint a miniature that was not for playing games, maybe diorama stuff. I mean, my only experience previous to this stuff that I have done recently is 135th.
Yeah, in 54. Yeah. I don't.
Yeah, well, that's what I do. I mean, I paint just for fun of painting when I do paint, which wasn't fun recently. Can you refuse your flank in this game? Apologies if this is. I don't know. Can I don't.
Yes, you can.
Oh, you can paint the stands. Yeah,
you can. I was about to say Herman specifically mentions it in his intro video because I feel like he knew everybody's going to ask that. You can.
Yeah. So Norse, a regiment might have 3 stands that make up
the biggest one I've seen so far is 4.
4. All right. So you could
the
have
first Texas has 4 sitting here.
Yeah, you could have 3 stands facing one way along a fence row, and then the stand on the right is bent back at a 90-degree angle against a stone wall or something. So yeah,
absolutely. You can even, and that's the nice thing about the 8-pointed stars. You can bend them at 45. So if you really want to follow, an edge or something or whatever else, you can really get a hold of that. And I like the flexibility of that. That gives a more free-form feel. This
thing doesn't have the fire angle template in it where you have.
No, it's just a 90-degree right in front of you, because no matter what you're doing, you're pointing to one of those vertices on your 8-pointed triangle or on your 8-pointed octagon. So it's really easy to figure out where you're going. The same fire template is still there. It's just built into the board because you have to be oriented certain directions.
All right. So are the rules to extend files into a single line or no? So the original game was if a regiment, let's take that first Texas was coming on and they were marching and they were in column, you would have the stands one right behind the other moving in. So I don't know this yet. I haven't read this yet. If that's what they were considering to be in a column, which kind of a broad front, but I imagine that was the only way they could pull that off in that system with the counters at the size that they are. I don't know yet about this one. Have you even seen that yet, whether with movement in column or anything?
I mean, yeah, so you can absolutely move if you stack and you get right behind each other. It like most things, it'll reward you for doing so. A move on a road, that is one of the very few things that is a difference. A move on a road is easier. You know what I mean?
You got on the fire chart. Are the weapons ranged? Each of them have different ranges, or
they are. One tricky thing is it's not on the counters unless you have something other than rifled muskets. So don't drive yourself nuts looking at the counters, looking for what kind of, long arm your guys have. They have rifled muskets. That's fine. The different things are rifled muskets, smoothbores, and then rifle or smoothbore cannon. Rifle or smoothbore artillery. And with the artillery, it's on the counter. So you can see where that's a square there.
Okay.
I'm sorry, you can see where it says S. My apologies.
Okay.
There you go.
What about the Berdan's sharpshooters? The first U.S. and second U.S. Are they even? They should be in there.
They have rifled muskets.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
I don't actually even know if they're in here. They are not in this first scenario.
Okay.
Yeah, but as of right now, there isn't anything for breech loaders.
Right.
I'm sure that can change with another, rule book.
Right.
It's not system rules; it's rule book.
Right. Just in this corner of the battlefield, I mean, they could do scenarios around front and side of a little round top.
Oh, there's so much.
Oh yeah, just in that little area.
There's an ungodly number just in this. You could probably off the top of our heads we could come up with 6 to 10 engagements of this size that you could do just on this end of the battlefield.
Yeah.
On July 2nd.
I would venture to say, I'm just trying to think of a sectional pickets charge, or the first day fight with the cavalry, or the first day fight with roads coming in on the flank of the 2nd Division.
Oh, yeah, into Gettysburg, coming down from the north.
I mean, Colts Hill, there could be so many scenarios.
Well, I mean, just down here, this is a chunk of one engagement.
Yeah.
It's a chunk before a big engagement, right? So even just with Dan Sickles fighting, you do something here, you do something over the Peach Orchard area and the angle, you do something down at Devil's Den area, then you give it a little bit, and you can do stuff around, the round tops. You can do stuff at the south end of Seminary Ridge. It's ridiculous. Or Cemetery Ridge. It's ridiculous. It is also nice because you could feasibly have very much smaller games, very much smaller engagements, which is what gets me really excited.
That's what I'm saying. I could walk out my door to any one of 20 or 30 plaques around here where there was a skirmish or something. And
not that like a few brigades knocking into each other is small, but in the grand scheme of, the Civil War and Civil War war games, if you're playing a game with just a couple of brigades, it's pretty small.
I still like to have Devil's Den. You got that game, don't you? The Avalon Hill one?
Me? No.
Yeah.
I have Little Round Top. I think I have 2 copies of Little Round Top.
Oh, okay. Tim, glad you joined up. Well, so there you go, guys. That's we spent 45 minutes talking about this new thing. I hope it develops into something more. I got actually McMurray's pop 4 turns of it. I'll eventually get mine up here, hopefully sooner.
Like I said, guys, get it, play it. It is really cool. Don't let the fact that you can't just waltz in and play it exactly how you play everything else deter you, because it is well worth playing. I'm a big fan.
Cool. All right, we're going to wrap this thing up. That was an unboxing, a little brief there by Andrew to tell us what's going on, and Todd playing Decision at L, squad leader stuff. All right, which he's going to eventually teach me again when I get old and retired. So
I do have a question.
Doom Battalions is on its way. Yes, thank you.
What's that?
Hey, could you have bigger battles, like a bigger map, or from what you're reading of the rules so far and kind of understanding, is it probably doesn't scale well? Some games don't scale well. You know what I mean?
I have not played the entire campaign game. I do not know.
Okay.
I feel like the only thing that would hold you back from, I don't think it would be an issue, because you bounce back and forth on, you figure out initiative, and then the Confederate player activates a brigade, or the Union player activates 2 brigades, and then you just kind of bounce.
You could do it. It would be a massive counters. Yeah, when you're taking a regiment and breaking it down to 2, 3, or 4 counters, stands.
But especially if you have multiple people playing, I really think it would be fine. I don't know that the system itself would bog down like some do.
Right. That would be kind of interesting. That would be a whole new. I'm already excited about the new 3-dog coming out. What if somebody did a monster of this?
Oh my God, that'd be ridiculous. Can you imagine that? Each counter is 110 dudes.
That'd be a huge match.
You've lost your damn mind. Oh, here are the Union's 700 counters.
Yeah, easily. Can you imagine the map, though?
It'd be huge.
My table wouldn't handle it. So, All right. Yeah.
Jimmy, my house wouldn't handle it.
All right, I'm gonna close this out. I know we all three of us got a bunch of stuff going on that we're messing with. I've got my hands in Napoleonics. I got BCS set up. Andrew's messing with that. They're doing the Warm Up Paint Challenge. Todd's digging into the ASL. Now I hope it pulls off, but I asked him to play the campaign of the Decision Else, which is what, Todd, 6 or 7 scenarios.
Yeah.
You got to play. So I hope he can get through all that, because I think the narrative or the battle report on that would be awesome. And
Todd Boy is also doing the mini warm-up paint challenge.
Oh yeah, he is.
Yes, painting up his Memoir 44.
I am supporting everybody, but I'm not actually painting anything. So, all right. Anyhow, we're gonna close this out. Everybody, appreciate y'all popping over to see what that thing looks like. If you came in late, just go back and watch the stream a little later. You can see it near the top where we unbox the game and start talking about it. Good talking to y'all. See y'all again with some new stuff here. Go check out my latest Napoleonic video I just put up tonight too. See y'all later. Peace.
Have a good one, guys.